I am going to move to Thailand and the world is going to come to me. Oh guys, let's talk about expectations versus reality here in Thailand. Stay tuned. So the first expectation that I hear people say more than anything else is, I'm going to Thailand because the cost of living is so cheap. I'm going to be able to go out there and live so much better than I do in the West. Well, let me give you a little insight into that. One, cost of living in general is cheaper here. Hotels are cheaper for the most part. Rent is cheaper for the most part. Electricity and internet are cheaper for the most part. And the reason I use the caveat the most part is because if you want to live a true Western lifestyle out here, it's going to cost you about the same thing that it does in the West. And that's the truth. There seems to be a lot of confusion sometimes. A lot of people come out here because they're loaded with money and they think that they're going to get a lot of attention that they don't get back in the States, which they probably kind of feel entitled to since they worked so hard for so many years to make so much money. Well, the thing about it is, if you're out in Isan or some of these smaller places in Thailand, yeah, you're probably going to get some attention. But if you come to places like Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Phuket, Pattaya, places that tourists visit, you really don't stand out in a crowd. It doesn't matter how much money you have. And in fact, in most cases, if you allow people to know how much money you have, it will make you a target. Because while Thailand is a very safe country, there are many people looking to take advantage of wealthy Westerners. That's just a fact of life here. And they do it all the time. Sometimes it happens with hotel staff. Sometimes it happens with the new girlfriend. Sometimes, and you would be surprised how often this happens, it happens with your new friends that you found. The new expats from your home country. The new expats that you just feel like would never ever do you wrong. Come to find out, they were setting you up the whole time. They've been waiting on your demise, and they have a plan to make sure that they get everything you have. Now you might think I'm crazy, and if you know anything about my history, I wasn't really referring to my personal history when I just said what I said. I just happened to think about it. It's kind of a similar situation as to what happened to me, but that was in the Philippines, not here in Thailand. However, the rule still applies. If you think that having a lot of money is going to allow you to buy yourself out of every situation, you're wrong. Okay? Can people be bribed in this country? Sure. Can people be bought in this country? I'm sure they can. I don't know of any reason why they couldn't. That happens in America too. But if you think that you're going to come out here and do some real criminal activity or do something really horrible to a person, especially a Thai person, and just get away with it by buying off the police or buying off witnesses or whatever, it ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. So don't set yourself up for failure when you get ready to come out here just because you live on a fat pension and you think you have enough money to get yourself out of any kind of trouble. Now, the other expectation is, many people will say, I'm coming to Thailand because I can live off of my $900 Social Security check, and that's it. Well, let me say something about that. One, it is entirely possible for you to live off of $900 US per month. Don't get me wrong. However, you will likely be living somewhere next to a rice field, or you will be living in a very remote location, be living in a small room somewhere in which you have many roommates. Living off of $900 a month in general is not suggested for people to come out here, because if you don't have any savings and something happens to you medically, and you're here on a $900 a month budget, that's bad. You see, these places won't fix you up medically like they do in the US unless you show proof of the money first. So what I'm trying to tell you is, coming out here on a shoestring budget is a bad idea unless you have plenty of savings and you use that shoestring budget just to live by it, and you can live off of just that shoestring budget each month. If you try to live above your means in Southeast Asia, you will fail, and you will fail tremendously. It will hurt, it will be painful, and you will probably go home with your tail tucked between your legs. I've seen it happen too many times, guys. I really have. I've been traveling now since July of 2017. I'm no expert on anything. I'm certainly not an expert on any one country or any one aspect of traveling, but I can tell you that I've seen expats come out here on $1,200, $1,300 a month, and in 30 days they're broke. I've seen expats come out here on $1,500, $1,600 a month, and in 15 days they had to go to the US Embassy to get a plane ticket home. That is not a position you want to put yourself in. My point behind that is, the expectation is, I only need a little bit of money to live in Southeast Asia. Simply not true, okay? You need to have a plan, a financial plan, just like you need to have a plan for where you live, where you're gonna live, what your internet's gonna cost, what your housing is gonna cost, what the average food cost is of where you're living. Any other bills that you may incur, you're still going to incur them here in Southeast Asia. Hopefully they'll just be less than they were in the States, and that's what a lot of people depend on. Sometimes it works out that way, sometimes it does not. I personally recommend that if you are going to come to a Southeast Asian country such as Thailand, a $1,500 a month budget, and I say budget because I'm talking about free spending cash, right, on bills and on entertainment. That should cover everything. The bills, the entertainment, the going out, the whatever you want to do. $1,500 a month should be about your minimum, in my opinion, okay? That's a good, safe number for you guys to judge what kind of budget and what kind of lifestyle you can have and you should set up and prepare for. If you come out here on 2,500 USD, 3,000 USD, 5,000 USD, you should not have any kind of problem at all living in Thailand. I'm gonna do a series on what it costs to live in Thailand. I'm gonna break down the cost for you day by day, step by step, number by number, and we'll talk about that in the upcoming video. But the expectation is, I have a lot of money, I'll be okay. Or the expectation is, I have a very little pension, but I don't need very much because I'm gonna be in Southeast Asia. Neither one of those expectations is true, okay? Both of those can be facades, and in many cases, I find that they are a facade. Now, let me say another expectation that I see people, especially men, when they come out here. They come out here and they think that because they have the light skin and they come from Western country and culture, that the women are automatically gonna love them. Well, if you're out in the province somewhere, that may be true, because just like when I was in the Philippines, in provincial locations, they don't see a lot of foreigners. So you may get a lot more attention if you're out in the province. But if you come to a place that is frequently visited by foreigners, such as Bangkok, or Pattaya or Phuket or Chiang Mai, then you're really not going to see the whole I'm a foreigner, look at me, pay me some special attention kind of stuff. Here's what happens. Guys come out here with a fat pension, okay? And they go to the bars and they buy everybody drinks, and they find this one girl that they just love to death, and she loves him to death until the money runs out, or until he gets tired of spending money on her. When he realizes he can spend money on other things, then guess what? All that love you thought you had, it's gone. All the friends you thought you had because you bought them drinks, see how many of them stick around when you stop buying drinks. All the island adventures and the villas you stayed on and the resorts you stayed at, see how many of them let you come when you tell them, I'm not paying your price. My point is, it's extremely important to set a budget and to set your expectations. Another expectation, I can just walk into Thailand and be myself. Well, you want to be yourself everywhere you go, but walking into Thailand and being yourself is a little bit different, because the visa situation here, in my opinion, makes it very difficult for foreigners to have long-term stays if you're not on a retirement visa. Now, that's just my opinion. I personally am on a non-B visa, which is a working visa. It's a one-year visa, but I still have to check in every 90 days. The government has to know where I'm at, what I'm doing, whether or not I'm still working. They want to know all my information all the time, as they should, because this is their country and they have the right to do that. It's not like America, where you can just come in, start a business, get Social Security or whatever the case may be. You can't do that here, okay? There is no Social Security net for a foreigner in this country. I hate to break it to you guys, but it's true. So if you come here and you don't have a savings properly set up, and your only means is your $1,500 or $1,100 a month paycheck, you may run into some significant difficulties should the need for money arise, and in all likelihood it probably will. So please be aware of that as you decide to make your decision to come out here. My suggestion to people when it comes to stuff like this is, if you want to come out here and live, one, make sure you can get the visa that you need first. Two, wait another year and save money that entire year so that you will have plenty in reserve in case something should happen. Then you can come here on your shoestring budget and live. Because if you can pay all your bills and still afford to have what you consider fun on your monthly pension or your monthly budget, your monthly income that you have coming in, then you'll be fine. And you'll have savings, and hopefully everything will go according to plan and you won't need to touch your savings. That is the hope of most expats that come out here. So I think it's important to remember, when setting expectations for any Southeast Asian country, or specifically Thailand, don't expect to come here and think that just because you've heard a YouTuber say you can live here on $900 a month, that you can come here and get off a plane with a $900 paycheck monthly and nothing else and live a happy life forever and ever. Probably not going to happen. In closing, I would just like to say this. The very best way to prevent yourself from being destroyed by your own expectations is to set the bar very low. Low expectations and high acceptance is the key to a quality of life. It really is, guys. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope it made sense. Please leave your comments and questions in the comment section below, and I will happily respond. For now, if you don't do anything else today, be sure you do more life. Later, guys.